The Soundpost fell in this instrument while changing strings. Let's see if I can reset it with just the Soundpost adjustment tool. Big disclaimer, I'm not a luthier and this isn't a fine instrument. It's an entry-level beginner student instrument that's already beat up. First, we need to take out the Soundpost from the instrument. We're going to do that by getting it aligned in the F hole, and then gently with this tool, get it so that it will come out of the F hole just like this. Now, let's talk about where the Soundpost sits. In the previous video, I cut up a violin to show what's inside. And if you take a look at the violin, this is the E side of the bridge, and this is the G side of the bridge, or this is the bass string, and this is the treble string. You'll notice that the Soundpost is on the treble or E side of the bridge, and it's a few millimeters behind the treble leg. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our Soundpost adjustment tool. We're going to take a Soundpost. We're going to attach it like so, and the job is to wedge it between the E string and the G string, just like so, and then adjust it behind. Let's see if I can make it happen. Now the strings on this viola are very loose, but there are a little bit of pressure on there. This will make sure that as soon as the Soundpost is more or less in the correct spot, we're going to tighten the strings and make sure that the Soundpost is clamped down. So the first step I was going to do is, if you take the Soundpost, you'll notice that the Soundpost has a little hole in here. That's from the Soundpost adjustment and setter tool going inside so that we can weave it inside through the F hole and find its place. It's a little difficult to tell, but the Soundpost has angles going this way, and that is because it's going to sit behind the high string, the treble string of this viola. We're going to push our tool in like this, and I think that's pretty secure. And here is the tricky part. We need to basically weave it inside through the F hole, and then we need to set it behind the treble leg, push in, and then we'll adjust it with this tool. Let's see if we can make this work. Nope. So there you go, it fell off my tool. So let's take another crack at it. I believe is correct. All right, take two. Take three. So if this doesn't work, I think what I might do is I might try to maybe use a little bit of tape on the Soundpost. Almost had it. All right, take four. Yeah, I would definitely not want to do this on a nice instrument because it's really easy to scratch it up, as I've already touched the top of this instrument. Now, I didn't scratch it really a lot, but I've already touched it with a sharp edge, so definitely wouldn't want to do this on a nice instrument. All right, so let's try this again. It's in, I can see it. Now, I believe what I need to do is very carefully push the top. So basically this tool here, I'm going to take the top, I'm going to put the end pin here, put the Soundpost adjustment tool, and I need to push it in so that it wedges. So the bottom of the Soundpost typically is done from the treble side of the bridge, but the top is usually done from the... It's really hard to see through the F hole. There's not a lot of space there. All right, but I think it's in. Now, just from eyeing this up, the Soundpost is really, it's like almost like 3/4 of an inch or half an inch behind, and it needs to be just a few millimeters. So the Soundpost should be here, but it's all the way back. So we're going to try to adjust it, and we're going to try to move it a little bit to the side. Hopefully we can move it. Oh, I think I got it. I'm trying to move the leg towards me. The leg is too far that way, but we're making progress. All right, so vertically this way, I can see that we need to move the volume a little bit more. And there it goes, it fell. I pushed too hard and it fell. All right, let's try this again. All right, so this is take 5. So I think the key is I have to get the Soundpost closer to where its intended place is instead of moving it throughout the entire instrument. So I think I need to get a different angle of the Soundpost. Now, I know there's a little setter tool that makes it really easy, that basically has a little clamp. that clamps the soundpost and you push it in. It's really easy. I don't have that tool, so I'm just going to try to use with what I have. Nope. So we're going to try to set the soundpost a little bit more vertical with the sound adjuster or setter tool. And we're going to try again. Take 6. You know what? We're actually going to move. I'm going to tighten the strings a little bit to apply a little bit of pressure so that it doesn't fall out so easily. Now let's see. What do we need to move here? I believe we need to move the bottom leg in and towards me. Now what I've seen luthiers use is this kind of ruler to see just exactly where the soundpost is, and I believe I need to bend it in order to see. So if I move it in, all right, I moved a little. Let's see if we could. Now the issue is I know sometimes I've seen luthiers tap it. I honestly don't know. Oh no, that actually works really well. That's awesome. So tapping the soundpost works. Let's see if that did anything. And again, this is a very beat up student instrument. You can see it already damaging a little bit of the edge here. Again, we knew going into this that might happen. So that's probably going to be better. Okay, so looking at the soundpost, I could see it's a few millimeters or a few 16th of an inch behind the leg of the bridge. And I also confirmed with this ruler here that it's about center of the treble leg of the bridge. And it looks from this angle to be upright this way and pretty upright this way. Let's see if we could tune the instrument. This is a viola. And let's see if it sounds right. You could see that the varnish, that the instrument was put together way too soon before the varnish was dry, and the varnish stuck to the bridge. You could see that. So just make sure if you are to move the bridge on a fresh instrument, I would probably loosen the pegs first. All right, so let's see. The soundpost is still there. It's probably not perfect, although I'm most certain that it's not perfect for the soundpost placement, but the viola now works. It's able to hold its tune, and more importantly, we're not risking the top creating a soundpost crack because it was tuned without the soundpost that acts as not only a lever for the bridge, but also as a support for the bridge. So we were able to set the soundpost on this viola with just the soundpost adjustment and setter tool.